welcome to yet another installment of Enduro Radio. Out in beautiful Little Natchez today. Not as beautiful as usual, unfortunately. It is gray. We've probably got some rain coming our way on today's ride. And it's about, 55, 56 degrees. To put that in perspective, yesterday it was 90. And we were like, yeah, this is going to be great. But it's not so bad. Still a little dusty, so that's okay. We should have some pretty good grip today, and shouldn't be too bad. And I sincerely hope everyone out there watching and listening is doing well. Because, man alive, has there been a lot going on lately, especially in this last couple of weeks, you guys. And I kind of just wanted to touch base on a little bit of that right quick off the bat here. Normally, we were going to try and keep anything, political or controversial or anything of that nature out of this series for the sole purpose. It's nice to, get away from all that. I kind of wanted these videos to be a little bit of that for you, is to just kick back, watch a dirt bike video, maybe to listen to some thought-provoking things, and hell, maybe learn a thing or two. But something has come up in the last week. Oh, that was a big old buck.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he was a beast, wasn't he? So something has come up in the last week that I simply cannot avoid talking about because it hits us directly. In my hometown of Bellingham, Washington, there's a club called the Mountain Baker Motorcycle Club, ran by some very, very good-natured fellas. And they put on and run the Hannigan Motocross Speedway that I grew up at my whole life. The man that races at that track very frequently and abroad is a very good motorcycle racer by the name of Danny Brocker. Now, most of you probably will not know who he is unless you live in the area or you've raced up at Hannigan or in Washington State. You probably run into him a couple times. The reason Danny Brocker is important to today's video is approximately 5 days ago, Danny Brocker was arrested at his home outside of Bellingham, Washington for riding a dirt bike on his own private property that he owns. And just in case you might have thought you misheard me or if I didn't speak clearly, I'm going to repeat that. Danny Brocker was arrested in front of his family for riding a dirt bike on his own private property. And the other day he was sentenced to 56 days in Whatcom County Jail to be followed, and I can't believe I'm saying this, by 488 days house arrest. Now, you might be thinking, well, there's probably a little more to that story. And I'm sure there is in some form or fashion, but this case is public record, and you can go look it up for yourself under the Whatcom County court system. Or just look up hashtag freedannybrocker. And you can find all this for yourself if you don't believe me. So, and by all means, I encourage you to do just that. And the reason this is important to me, and I've talked about it for a long time, is the camaraderie of the motorcycle community and motorcycle racing in general has been something, that has been a big influence in my life and a lot of people's lives out there. And it's something you just don't see in a lot of other realms. And Danny, if you're out there, you have to see this and listen to this, we are behind you 100%, buddy. This is just absolutely wrong. I cannot believe it's happening. And there was a protest for him outside the courthouse during his trial the other day. And thank you to the good men and women that took time out of their day to go support that guy, because he's a good one. A giant advocate for the motorcycle community and racing in general. A hard-working guy and a family man to boot, who committed no crime whatsoever and is currently locked up behind bars for it. And I still, every time I say it out loud, I just can't believe the words coming out of my mouth. But it's a real thing. And this was all brought on by some lady who had a respect for her family. I will not mention her name because her poor family didn't have anything to do with it. This particular woman is just a terrible human being and just wants to see people suffer just for her own amusement, I imagine. But I have nothing against her family. Don't really know them, so I don't have any reason to, you know, spread a bad light on them. And this is kind of just hit us really hard. I even went to bed last night thinking about it. I couldn't really get it out of my head. And it's really bothering me that this happened. Now, I'm not one to be really big into politics or religion or controversial issues or anything of that nature. You know, it's kind of one of my philosophies of having a rich and happy life, but this just shocked me to death. And I just thought I'd bring it out there because that's one of the reasons we started Enduro Radio, was have a voice and find a way to give back to the motorcycle community that's given us so much, and me personally, for my life. So I could not sit idly by and not say anything. It's just tragic, really, that the Whatcom County Sheriff's Department that I grew up with would do something of this horrible nature and take a family man away from his family for committing no crime. Now, there was a charge against him because there is no law specifically stating illegal to ride dirt bike. So what they hit him with was a work stop order violation because a county employee had stopped by and asked him not to ride dirt bikes simply because it bothered her that they were riding dirt bikes for some reason whatsoever. Maybe she was just having a bad day. Maybe she's just an asshole. I don't know. But they were able to use that to say he'd been previously warned and throw the book at him. Now, if there was something were to happen where he was holding sanctioned events or endangering people's lives or infringing on the rights of others, you know, we might have a different conversation. Oh no, we got a down fellow. You need a hand, bud? Oh, you bet. That's exactly what I'm talking about right here. Helping out your brothers when you see them. Holy hell.
I got two more of my group up here.
Do you? Okay, buddy. Let's,
probably got to drag this way and then
absolutely.
tip it back.
I'll get your wheel.
1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right.
1,
2, 3.
Damn, that's a bike, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Of course.
I admire the hell out of you for riding this big thing out here. Hats off to you, buddy.
Thanks.
Never leave a man behind, even if you don't know him. Well, after a brief intermission, stopping and helping out them nice fellers, we'll get back at it. Not to do a disservice to Mr. Danny Brocker for cutting his story a little short there, but again, bud, if you're out there, we're behind you 100%. And for those people listening and watching, there is a GoFundMe on Facebook. Again, if you just search the hashtag freedannybrocker, you will find it. Actually started by my cousin, Mike Petum, who is very involved in the political world and a libertarian to boot. Back in Whatcom County is trying to fight for people's rights for that place. Is Whatcom County is kind of, I don't want to say the word, but it starts with a C, ends with an ist. There you have it. But kind of my point I wanted to talk about today anyway is the camaraderie of motorcyclists in general. Is, again, I've said it 1,000 times, one of the most amazing experiences I've been able to have in my life, as far as, you know, just being a part of it and seeing the things that have happened. I've said it before in previous episodes. When I first went to novice racing school to race superbike, Alistair McKinnon said it best. You know, he said, look at the people around you, remember their faces. He says, more than likely, the guys around you are going to be friends you're going to have for the rest of your life. And he wasn't kidding. Not even close. All the friends I have today, all but, gosh, a very small handful I've met through motorcycling, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for these people. So I got to drop it here. There we go. And the respect and admiration that I felt from other people under me over, you know, the course of my career in motorcycles and just my hobby of it all, never ceases to surprise me. And it's just kind of a great thing, and I love the people about it. But the first time I ever really, was in awe of it, I was probably 20 years old. I was doing a race at Spokane International Raceway in Spokane, Washington. I was racing on a Kawasaki 636, and I had stepped away from my pit knowing that my race was coming up in about 3 races to go talk to a fella. Don't remember who it was or what we were talking about at the time, because the rest of the story kind of got to me. Lo and behold, I heard the alarm go off and the intercom for the 600 Supersport race, which was my race that day. And I went, oh shit. And here I am hauling ass back to my pits to try and get there in time. I didn't have my bike started. I didn't have anything prepped, nothing. And as I come into view of my own pit, mind you, at the time I was completely alone. This was before I had a pit crew and a crew chief and, you know, a support team behind me. I was just kind of running around by myself, you know, kind of getting my own thing going. Holy jeepers. And lo and behold, 2 fellas, one by the name of Mike Mason, who is just a great guy in the sport of road racing, give you the shirt off his back and help you out with whatever you need. And veteran racer Mike Sullivan, who was kind of a hero in my eyes at the time. He's one of the good old boys, raced flat track growing up in the 70s and 80s, and, you know, was a championship winning superbike racer into his 50s, for crying out loud. The guy's amazing. But my point is, I found these 2 fellers in my pits. They had my bike started. Mike was just filling up my fuel tank, and my tire warmers were on and running. And I think that was my first top 10 finish. And had it not been for those guys, I wouldn't have made it out for that race, or I would have gone on cold tires and probably, you know, risked a pretty good crash. And Spokane Raceway at the time was not a place you wanted to crash. A lot of people died there because of that, because there wasn't a lot of runoff. If you crashed at high speed, you were going into a wall or an embankment of some sort. It was a very dangerous place to be. And I didn't really care for the track itself. I loved the layout, but the track itself was scary. And the straightaway was really long. You do a really fast first corner, you know, take a 600 bike to the top end of 6th gear, you're over 160 miles an hour. Now you gotta drop a gear and trail brake and do a right-hander. No way. Got to you every time, no matter how many laps you did. You always kind of held your breath through that corner. You actually had to tell yourself to breathe. But it's people like that, like Mike Mason and Mike Sullivan and everyone else that's helped me out in my career, that, you know, makes it all worth it. And that's part of the pay it forward thing we talked about in episode 1. It's experiences like that, memories like that have spurred me on to make sure I seem to be able to do my best to help people wherever I find it. Like that fella back there on the BMW. Not a chance in hell we were going to ride around him, even if we could. Because that guy needed a hand and we were going to help him. That's just the way it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. Not a second thought about it. And it's a beautiful thing that my riding compatriot and good buddy John Gessler in front of me here had this to say about the same subject.
I've never seen a better group of guys and, you know, a more efficient way of camaraderie than in road racing than compared to the Army. You know, I've been in the Army for about 4 years, and the things you do with your guys, embracing the suck, going on field rotations, training, and, you know, treating casualties and whatnot, the only other thing that has ever related to me is racing, and I've been doing it all my life. So, you know, embracing the suck. You know, we've been out here sucking, sweating, and bleeding sometimes, but, you know, the camaraderie here between us is just incredible.
And it's things like that that come from Johnny's point of view, that's seen both sides of the coin, that, you know, truly lead me to believe that, you know, I'm not just stuck in my own mind about it. Well, it's dusty. You know, because you can talk to anybody who's been in the sport that long, and if they have a true and sound mind about it, most likely they're going to have the same opinion on it. Boy, this trail's already been dug up a little bit more in the last couple weeks. A lot more rocks sticking through. But par for the course out here. It kind of gets more whooped and rutted as you go. And another example of the camaraderie of motorcyclists in general. You know, when I was racing a lightweight superbike and 650 Super Sport towards the end of my career, you know, we went out there and raced against a bunch of guys, you know, as hard as we could. You know, we were trying to win there. There was points on the line. There was championships to get. Hell yeah. You didn't go out there to place last on purpose. No, sir. It cost too much money. So, you know, sometimes there'd be some bar banging and some fairing scuffing, and, you know, they accidentally punt a guy off the track. Not to say it ever happened on purpose, in my experience. Thank goodness, but I have seen it. But the hell of it is, me and my entire grid, we pitted together. And then after the race day was over, all of us and our families, you know, flip out some lawn chairs and hang out and, you know, bullshit the night away. And that was just a beautiful thing, and I look forward to that every race weekend, more than anything else. And when they needed something and we had it, they got it, and vice versa. Because, damn it, they were getting on that racetrack. There was nothing I would do for those boys not see them out there. And if they didn't make it for some reason, I always found myself being a little bit, you know, kind of bummed out, like your friend didn't show up to play with you or something, you know? And that's just one of the reasons I love that sport so much. I do miss it. Not as much as I would miss this. And we had a great grid towards the end of my career. It was probably my favorite group of guys I ever got to be around. We had Ted Hawkins, who's actually a career longshoreman. And Ted, hell, even when I was 25, 26, he was about 40. You know, he retired from racing and came back after a few years, and hell, he even showed me a thing or two. We had Bob May and Eric May, father-son race team, I've talked about before. Just two of the greatest guys. Love them to death, miss them a whole bunch. Cliff and Will Beebe, of course. Another good father-son duo. Just like the most wholesome family I've ever met. And Cliff, actually, is owns a, what do you say, proprietary computer software he patented and designed for Boeing for some diagnostic stuff. He did very well with that. And Christopher Fast, that guy, busiest man on the planet, owned a real estate management company, and it was just kind of him and a couple other guys. You know, he had a couple employees under him, so he would tell me stories about having to do all the work he had to do for the business all day and then doing the paperwork all night, and by the time he was done with that, well, hell, it was time to get up and shower and do the next day. And I just told him, how do you do this, man? He said, you just trudge through. I said, all right. And it was just, you know, those guys that just need everything better. And there was a lot more of them, albeit, but those were kind of our close-knit family, if you will, at the racetrack. And you got to know their wives and their families and their kids. And, you know, we ended up going to Eric May's wedding, who, you know, him and his wife now have a family of their own. And, you know, he doesn't really race anymore. Also works for Boeing as a logistical engineer. I still believe, anyway. Not to my knowledge, he doesn't work there anymore. But I had some of the funnest times with these guys, and it wasn't just on the racetrack, because we'd go bang fairings and, you know, have a hell of a 10 laps and just duke it out. And, you know, we were out there to beat each other. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was the goal at the end of the day. My good buddy and Johnny's dad, Troy Gester, once told me that the art of racing is going as slow as possible and still beating the guy behind you. And it didn't matter who it was. If I had to show a rear tire in front of the front tire of Eric May to win a race, yeah, I was going to do it. But after the race was over, we were going to high-five and laugh about it in the pits. You know, unless you blatantly did something to, you know, kick somebody off their line or try to get them hurt, which in that group, you could never happen in a million years. These guys were too good of people. You were going to, you know, have a chuckle about it here and there. Hell, I almost took out poor old Cliff Beebe one day just by transitioning and changing direction from right to left, because I kind of had a funky way of doing it, just naturally. It wasn't anything I did on purpose. And, you know, almost took the poor guy out at about 100 miles an hour. And at the time, Cliff was getting up there. I guess he's about 55 or so at the time. And I never knew it happened. And after the race, old Cliffy boy comes into my pit with a big old grin on his face, laughing. He's like, man, I gotta show you the video of what happened. And I mean, oh man, Cliff, I'm so sorry, buddy, I didn't mean to do that. And he's like, oh no, don't even worry about it. He's like, I've just never really seen anybody transition that way. He almost took out my front tire. And you know, in that same respect, during a rain race, Cliff Beebe got ahead of me at the Ridge Motorsports Park in Shelton, Washington, and coming up and over the hill out of turn 3, oh, it was real slick. Old Cliff got on the throttle a bit too early while he still leaned over and high-sided in front of me. Now, I felt bad because it was Cliff. Having said that, his bike was unscathed and he was not injured whatsoever. So, I still capitalized on the opportunity and blew right by him to win the race, you bet. Because that's racing. And everybody takes the same risk, you know, when they go out there. It's just kind of one of those deals. But it was my first thing. As soon as I got back in the pits, my crew chief chalked my bike up on the stand. I hopped off and ran straight over to Cliff in his pit to make sure he was okay. Because we love that guy. And he was. Oh, they're rocky studs. And I'm telling you all this because if even doing this style of riding, or maybe getting into motocrossing or road racing or anything is something you want to do, you will find the best support team pretty much anywhere you go. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. And that's the beautiful thing, is you will find that support team anywhere you go. I'm not just talking about where I grew up racing or the career I had and the people I knew. Very, very rarely, if ever at all, will you get into the sport and not find that support team in some form or fashion. It almost just doesn't happen. It's the little things in life like that that really stick with you and add up. Take Mr. Gessner ahead of me, for example. I mean, shoot, that's how I met the kid. As you guys saw in episode 2, called The Prodigy, you know, we just saw this little tyke running around, and his dad tried to chase him around, running himself ragged so this kid could race. And, you know, his family and mine kind of became one. And that's the way it is. Troy Gessner's like a brother to me, always will be. I'll do my best to look after his family, just cause. Hence, Johnny lives with us today. All right, have to give Johnny a little 2-minute breather. Back at it. Something I haven't told you quite yet. We're gonna do something a little different today. In a couple miles, we're actually gonna hang a left on a Jeep trail to go up to a place called Raven's Roost and find the hill climb we call Holy Moly, because it is a full mile of a hill climb that it kind of gets intense at the end, and we're gonna see if we can make it up there today. I've come down it, but I've never actually made it to the top going up. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Hopefully I don't make an ass out of myself on camera here. Doesn't know quit. He slangs around that big heavy 450 pretty well for still being, ooh Jesus, relatively new to it. Even though it's a little harder for him than it is, you know, relative to the lightweight 302 strokes of the world, albeit, but hell, he's a way better rider than me, and if I rode that bike for years, so can he. Alright folks, we're going to take a little brief intermission. It'll be a few minutes for us and about 2 seconds for you. And we'll catch back up with you when we hit the Jeep Trail going up to Holy Moly. Talk to you real soon. Alright, well, we've transitioned from the single track trail of 963 to the Jeep Trail of 688. Which, if you'd like to get a little more speed under you, it's a lot of fun. We are heading up the hill towards Raven's Roost, which is a beautiful lookout. But unless you want to take the road, there's a hill climb to be had called Holy Moly. And it's a doozy. And it's not so much that it's the absolute steepest thing you've ever seen. It is steep by anybody's expectations, but the last bit, and we'll show you when we get there, it's very intimidating because the last bit goes straight up and you can see the whole thing, and you just look at it, your first thought is, man, if I screw up and I'm gonna roll all the way down this thing, it's gonna be a bad day. And it would be. why they call it Enduro. It's supposed to be a little bit hard. Let John go a little bit. It's kind of dusty. Keep it on to clean off the lens here. Give him some space. Here we go. This is where John thrives. Wide open spaces and sheer speed. I've said it before, you cut this kid loose, you'll never see him. So he's always riding well under his potential out here. Per my request for filming purposes, of course. Every once in a while when we're not filming, I just say, go, and then he's gone, just like that. Jeez. Looks like the fellas have been up here clearing this. Thank you, all you guys. Getting all this debris out of here so we can actually come out and have some fun. Appreciate all your hard work every day. I absolutely love this trail. I haven't been on it in about a year. I forget sometimes how much fun it is. Click up 4th and 5th gear and get you some. Yes, sir. Oh, and it's in great shape today. Lovely. Like this. They look scary, but they're really not. Just don't stop. Very simple. If you do not stop, you will make it. Every time. Or, I suppose there's an exception to the rule. If you whiskey throttle and you loop it in first gear, as my poor brother once found out, yeah, you won't make it there either. You'll probably pull your hammy right out of your leg. Oh, this is a good day. And since we got a few minutes here, I just want to take the time and say thanks again, everybody out there watching and listening for, you know, playing along with us and indulging me a bit as we've been trying to get Enduro Radio off the ground and see how far we can go with it. It's because of those view counts and those subscribers like you guys that we're gonna just keep doing this and take you on these new rides and talk about some stuff with you and let you know some things. And you know, I'm planning for some stuff down the road to hell, maybe even teach you some stuff that you didn't already know. Granted, there's a lot of people out there that know a heck of a lot more than me, you bet, but I'd like to pass some of that knowledge I have on to other people the best I can. The more knowledge you have, the more you will win. Period. So thank you to everybody out there who click on these likes and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. And not only is it good for us and good for the channel, but it makes us feel really good about the fact that people actually enjoy it, get some entertainment out of it. I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Woo! and I'm having an absolute blast doing it. I want you to know that. I know I spoke a lot in episode 4 about the arduousness of, you know, assembling every video and filming it and putting it to YouTube, but take that with a grain of salt, because I have no intention of stopping this at all, and I'm having just a hoot. So don't feel bad for me ever. I'm having a great time and having a great life. Thanks to you guys, the people around me, and the fact that I get to do this every weekend, and my lovely, gorgeous, and supporting wife is all about it. As I've said before, I'm a very rich man. I'm trying not to take that for granted, ever. But I would like to hear some comments from you guys. Haven't seen a whole lot in that regard. And don't feel like you're gonna offend me if you've got something to critique or anything like that. We are actually looking for that, you know? What can we do differently? What do you guys like to see? You know, what can we do more of? What can we change? If you spit it out, we'll give it a shot. But we don't know if you don't say anything. So feel free to pipe up. It is gladly welcome. And thank you for doing it. This is kind of cool too, to be able to, you know, ride right alongside your buddy on a Jeep tail until, well, he spits rocks at you. That's a different story. Pretty soon, we're going to get to the hill climb here. So, we're just going to go ahead and fast forward to the Holy Moly climb, and we'll see you up there. Swipe. All right. Here we go, Enduro Radio family. The Holy Moly hill climb. I've never actually made this climb to the top. So, here we go.
I'll be right back.
Copy that. Good luck. Don't die. Oh my God. Oh, this is nasty. And it's gonna be slow. Oh my God. Embrace the suck. Holy doodles. I know it doesn't look like much. Here we got a random fellow getting her done. How you doing, bud?
That takes you out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's try this again. Little sea bounce. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Oh boy. Oh boy. Very rarely, whew, do I get winded doing this, but it happens. Today is one of those days. sometimes traversing helps. Doesn't seem to be today. And again, I know from your vantage point watching this on YouTube, it probably looks flat as a pancake. I assure you it's not. Whew. Oh, we're getting into some rain here, guys. We are up in the clouds. Oh, and old Taz here, he is hot. Take your time. Old Johnny looks like he was steaming a bit. The old Italian Princess Husky there must have overheated a wee bit. So those big 4-strokes have a tendency to do. Plus that's a motocross engine. It's not designed for the slow struggle like this. Whew. All right, almost to the last climb. Let's get it. Little tip for hill climbing as well. If you see a hill getting worse, click down a gear ahead of time. Don't wait to get to the obstacle that you're going to deal with. And that will keep your momentum even if you slow down a little bit. Because if you shift down at the same time you're going to get to that obstacle, all your momentum is going to be quashed immediately. And just so you know, that was not the final climb. We have yet to get there. Oh, it's going to be greasy. I can tell you that already. Here we go. Hitting that pretty high, say about 6,000 feet. Here we go. Looks like there's still some snow. We're going to avoid that. Holy shnikes. Oh, come on, Taz. You got it, buddy. Come on. We're almost there. Almost there. You can do it, buddy. Oh, my God. Holy shit, Taz. You made it, buddy. Good boy. Woohoo. Yes, sir. Holy shit. Whew. Oh, my God. Man alive.
Dude, that blows.
Yeah. Thanks for playing along.
Yeah.
Glad you made it.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. You got it. Attaboy.
Hey, guys.
Okay, everybody. After a wonderful hill climb there, we're going to head back down the mountain, and that's about all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us, and again, thank you so much for everybody that's supporting the channel and the page and watching these videos. I really, really hope from the bottom of my heart you guys enjoy them. And as always, take care of yourselves out there, folks, and damn it, take care of each other. We could use a little more of that right now. And we'll see you next week with a brand new episode. Cheers, everybody.